the king of the monsters, and this movie makes it official. Alright, I'm throwing the format out the window. Likes, dislikes, all of it out the window. This is the moment I have been waiting for my entire life. The 2014 Godzilla was a treat beyond belief. We finally got an amazing Godzilla that, even though it wasn't in the rubber suit, it was digital, but it was absolutely perfect. And Gareth Edwards was the man to bring it to life and to show how awesome and terrifying it truly be. Obviously, the pet peeve and the only issue that I could possibly make with that movie was there just wasn't enough fighting, for my taste. It's a kaiju Godzilla movie. You don't watch it for the plot. You watch it for the fight. So, trailers for this movie come out. It's fights, baby. It's fights. And I'm like, please, give me the fight, and dear God, did they deliver. Oh, man. And not just fights, okay, but a level and a quality of fights unimaginable previously. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, yes, a testament to the three-dimensional rendering and the designers and everything else, but beyond that, honestly, it was a deep love and understanding of these characters. The monsters are characters. I don't care what anybody freaking says. Yes, it's a mindless kaiju movie, but the best kaiju movies are not mindless. So plot, forget about it. Who gives a rat's ass? They had a big MacGuffin with this sound thing and a bunch of pull the heartstrings stuff. Irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that, okay, full disclosure, I love the Big G. Duh. However, as you've heard a million times before, the hero is only as good as the villain. And the villain has always been right here. This is Mecha King Ghidorah, my favorite version of Ghidorah. Nonetheless, the Big G really is the Big G because of the other Big G. And they know that. Mike Dougherty knows that. But here's the deal. The three-headed monster, prior to this film, was either, obviously back in the day, nice rubber suit on wires, little CGI maybe later, but this was three articulate, distinct, and individual heads. It was something to behold. I mean, it was obviously one creature with a purpose, but the heads could act intermittently. They even snapped at each other. They helped each other. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. And then, on top of all that, the ridiculous fight, just destruction of cities and properties that was unparalleled, they made, and the writers made, and Mike Dougherty made, some deep frickin' cuts to the Godzilla lore. I was losing it. Right off the bat, the Monarch Agency names Ghidorah Monster Zero. Oh, thank you. You know, at one of the little throwaway scenes of Panic in the Street, there's a guy holding a sign that says, "Destroy all monsters." Come on! They use a goddamn, they bust out a goddamn oxygen destroyer. Now, of course, it's pointless, but they had it in there. And I forget, I'm sorry, names, irrelevant, who cares about the human characters? The Japanese girl ends up being from a long line of twins. And interconnected with Mothra. They had the freaking scene of Ghidorah blasting the shit out of Mothra. and Mothra transferring her essence to Godzilla, as we've seen before. I mean, unreal. Unreal on every level. And we got to see a couple of this in the trailer. But one of the things that was just the icing on the cake for me, man, was a couple of just staged pose shots. The ones that we saw in the trailer was King Ghidorah victorious with the cross in the sort of foreground and him in the background on the top of the mountain. They had a handful of those things that were so beautiful. Ghidorah and Godzilla squaring off. They had one with the big G at the end as truly the king of the monsters. Okay, quick side note. I know I'm rambling. I'm psyched. I don't care how long this goes on. The monsters. Okay, so Toho only gave permission for 3. Mothra, Rodan, well, 4. Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla. Duh. Okay, fine, whatever. So, for reasons I'm not exactly sure on, they decided in this movie that they would have a whole bunch of other monsters, but they would be ones that they made up, and they were pretty weak. I'm not gonna bullshit. You know, it was a big giant mastodon-looking thing. They bust out another Muda, and there was no real purpose for them to be there. You got a little nice scene towards the end, whereby they kind of all bow down and give praise to the big G. I suspect they were done to sell toys, quite honestly. You know, you just got to collect the whole set. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. A side note, I don't know what more to say. I mean, this was everything that I wanted it to be, more than I wanted it to be, what I had dreamed about as I watched Godzilla movies that he could be. There was character to the big G. They got him right. He is an unstoppable force of nature. And I got just everything. And then, all right, so that, we don't drag this out into the wee hours of the morning. The very last thing I'm going to say is that there was a post-credit scene, okay? Didn't know what it was, just knew there was going to be a post-credit scene. Well, the no-brainer, of course, is you set up Godzilla vs. King Kong. Now, I've had a problem with this since day one, and I'm going to state it for the record right now. Godzilla vs. King Kong is absolutely ridiculous, and it's really fucking ridiculous after this movie. I suppose they're going to say that Godzilla burnt himself out at the end. That's why he wasn't the fire Godzilla. Okay, whatever. He's still king of the monsters. He's still unstoppable. He's still, 40, 50 meters high. This little rinky-dink King Kong is not going to be any kind of fight. I don't care how much they mutate him. I don't care how much steroids they pump into him. It's a joke. It's always been a joke. So the post-credit scenes, I'm thinking they're going to set that up. Well, to a lot of people that I was with, they said, oh, no, it wasn't. It was a setup for after that. The setup was that the Charles Dance Echo Terrorist character gets his hands on one of King Ghidorah's heads, the one that Godzilla ripped off. Because there's a black market for, Titan DNA. I'm going to go on a limb, and honestly, this is a hope of mine, that was not the teaser for the movie after Godzilla vs. King Kong. It was the teaser for Godzilla vs. King Kong. Godzilla vs. King Kong is idiotic. It's completely stupid. It's also a lose-lose scenario for the studio, if you want to be honest. Much like the first Godzilla vs. King Kong, it was a no contest. They simply didn't want one to win over the other. Each had its own particular studio franchise. Somewhat, kind of, sort of the same with this one. So, my prediction, going on record is stating this. Godzilla and King Kong fight for some stupid, convoluted reason that presents it as some kind of a matchup. I don't know what it is. They have no clear winner, as ridiculous as it sounds. And ultimately, they have to team up to take on either the newly resurrected King Ghidorah, or, that's right, Mecha King Ghidorah. There, I said it my prediction. I'm sticking to it. But until then, I'm going to tell each and every one of you to go and watch this movie right now, because tomorrow I'm going to watch it again.